Hello and welcome back to the only BBC you're ever going to need. It's the Black Football Club with another exciting, enthralling edition from my fourth self-published book and first on Liverpool Football Club, Chasing the Impossible and the Sword of Damocles. Without further ado, through the wind and rain, Reds grind out win. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. I have long held an affinity for Burnley Football Club and a hearty regard stretching back long into the distance of my childhood. Their nickname of the Clarets, their turf Moor home for over 130 years, and more recently, their manager of over 10 years, Sean Dyche, he of the gruff, rough-speaking voice resembling a heavy cigar smoker who should have quit long ago. It's a brilliantly distinctive voice for a similarly distinctive team that under his stewardship has become a team the Premier League should be rightly proud. From the outside looking in and through the clouded cigar smoke of their no doubt non-smoking manager, Burnley always seem to have the same starting 11 and the same style of football that has been greased into fluid motion by the archetypal football man in Sean Dyche. He's loved in Burnley, and having signed a long-term contract in the recent past, he would seem to be their manager for the foreseeable future, and I dearly hope that's the case. Football these days is utter madness, as we all know, but Burnley were tremendous today, with James Tarkowski and Ben Mee pillars in defence, and Josh Brownhill greatly impressed me with his energy and non-stop running, as well as drawing the first save of the match as the Reds goalkeeper Alisson Becker sprawled low to his right to tip a fierce drive from the youngster around his post. I've been majorly impressed with Maxwell Cornet too since his arrival at Burnley, and he was busy as well as busy being caught offside as he rather struggled today. The more attacking threat came from Wout Weghorst and an even more recent signing from VfL Wolfsburg in Germany. Replacing the recently departed Chris Wood, he typifies Dyche's Burnley ethos, but screwed his best chance wide when one-on-one with Becker after beating the offside trap. Burnley deserved more today and were the more cohesive unit and attacking threat, certainly through the heart of the game and after the opening 10 minutes, where Liverpool had set an early attack-heavy defence mode in their favour. After this, Burnley were a threat but not a major one, and this perhaps sums up why they've only won one league game all season and only scoring 17 goals in the 21 games hence far. But they made the Reds' defensive central partnership of Virgil van Dijk and Joel Matip earn their footballing money today, but they couldn't score, and against an under par Liverpool playing their second game in just 3 days. This isn't a lame excuse, as Burnley had only a further day's rest from their last game, but it's that time of the season again, as footballing cliches go, but both teams were a yard off their true game today. Regardless, Burnley couldn't score, and thanks to Fabinho's 40th minute winning goal, the Reds of Liverpool collected another valuable 3 points in their chase of Manchester City at the top of the Premier League. Today's only goal summed up the game entire. A set-piece corner from an ever-impressive Trent Alexander-Arnold was flicked on by Sadio Mane before Fabinho scrappily hit the back of the net with his follow-up shot after the first had been brilliantly saved by Nick Pope in the Burnley goal. The scrappy nature was perfectly in keeping with the game as a whole and against the relentless wind and driving rain sweeping across Turf Moor. You could throw a rain-soaked blanket over a number of Liverpool Reds for the Man of the Match award, but goalscorer Fabinho perhaps just pips Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson, Naby Keita and Roberto Firmino for his non-stop industry, nagging tackles all over the pitch, and because of my personal footballing love for the guy. When Fabinho doesn't play, Liverpool don't play. I continue to say the same for the returning skipper Jordan Henderson, but he was as underwhelming as another returnee today, Sadio Mane, who was that proverbial yard off the pace today. He'll come good, as will his skipper. This was an old school win and an old school ground against an old school manager, but that's enough footballing cliches for one article. The games are piling up for the Reds of Liverpool, and games in all 4 competitions they entered at the very start of the season. The Reds remain 9 points behind pace-setters Manchester City, but they still have 1 game in hand, and they still have to meet their table-topping foes before season's end. They may need 90 plus points to topple Manchester City, and even then this may not be enough. Thus is the madness of modern football, and I hope an old school manager doesn't get lost to the cloudy mist of time in the process. His counterpart, that ruggedly handsome and smiling rascal Jurgen Klopp, fist pumped towards the travelling Reds in his usual display of loving adoration and footballing defiance, for this was a hard-fought win, through the wind, through the rain and through a determined Burnley, who epitomised their manager. Though your dreams be tossed and blown, I have a good feeling about this wonderful football team under the guidance of that wonderfully warm bearded German. His usual appreciation of the travelling fans at the end is no surprise, and we all know this scrappy, stop-start win today meant the world to him. You may not believe me, but we're gonna win the league. I have a real good feeling this season for the footballing fortunes of the team I adore. And that was Burnley 0, Liverpool 1, from my self-published book, Chasing the Impossible and the Sword of Damocles. Oh, how times change. Sean Dyche, now Manchester United, now Everton manager. Tarkowski and me have both disappeared to places new. Fabinho, Firmino, Sadio Mane. Oh blimey, what memories. Anyway, memories of the recent past too. Thanks for watching. Rambling ending as usual. Peace everyone, and solidarity. And thanks very much for watching. Peace everyone.